Hello, welcome. In this practical skills video, I'm going to show you one of the food tests. It's the Benedict test for reducing sugars, otherwise known as the glucose test. We're going to use this blue solution here, Benedict solution, and we're going to use it to test for the presence or absence of glucose, the carbohydrate. I'll show you the whole thing, but remember, as I go through, all the key words, key phrases, the things you need to know to get the marks in the exam will come up on the side. So they're the ones to take note of. Just sit back and enjoy the rest. So, Benedict's solution is this blue reagent here. First of all, we need to think about some health and safety things. They sometimes come up in the exams. It is hazardous to eyes, so we need to wear safety specs. It's an irritant to the skin, so you must wash your hands if it gets on your skin. Those are the main things to be aware of. We're also going to be using a hot water bath that should be at least 60 degrees centigrade, so there's a scalding risk as well. Those are the things to watch out for if you get an exam question that asks you about what somebody should do to stay safe while doing this test. So how does it work? We're going to use Benedict's solution. I'm going to start off by just adding some glucose solution, pure glucose solution, to this test tube here so that we can use that to show you a positive result, what happens when glucose is present. In these test tubes here, I'm going to do some more just to give you a bit more information and to show you a bit more about what happens with this test. So in this one, I'm going to put a sucrose solution. And in this one, I'm going to put some lactose in the form of milk. Lactose is the sugar that occurs in milk. And in this one, I'm just going to put some cordial, some squash. I'm not quite sure what kind of sugar it has in there, but I suspect there might be some sucrose, there might be some fructose, all different kinds of sugars. But only some of them are reducing sugars. And this is a test that shows us the presence or absence of reducing sugars, of which glucose is one. Sucrose is not a reducing sugar, so I'm expecting to see a negative result with this one. So hopefully you'll be able to compare the two. So to do the test, first we need to add the sample, the thing that we're going to look at and test. Then we need to add some Benedict solution. And we just need to add an equal volume. It doesn't have to be exact. We're just looking for a roughly equal volume of the reagent and the sample that we're testing. That looks a bit disgusting, doesn't it? There we are. So once we've added our Benedict solution, an important thing to note is that it starts off blue. That's worth a mark. You need to show that there's a change. So we need to know what colour it is at the beginning, and we need to know what colour it goes when there is a positive or negative result. And then we need to put it in a hot water bath. The key there is the heat. It needs to be at least 60 degrees centigrade, and it needs to be in there for about 10 minutes. Basically, the hotter it is, the faster it will work. So there is our hot water bath. I'm now going to place these test tubes in here, and I'm going to put this on a time lapse so you can see what happens over the course of 10 minutes to our 4 different solutions there. So I'll set them up so you can see them all and start a time lapse. So let's have a look at these results. You can see we've got some quite different results here. As we would have expected, this one here is showing a brick red precipitate. It's that red colour that shows us the positive reaction, positive result, showing us that glucose is present in this solution here, which is what we'd hope, of course, because that was a glucose solution we added to that. So this is a positive result, a red reaction. It's called a brick red precipitate, but red would get you the mark in the exam. This one here, let me just take that one out. This one here is showing us a sucrose solution. Sucrose is just that white powdered sugar that you might add to your cup of tea or your breakfast cereal, and sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. So that has given us a negative result. You don't need to know in the exam about sucrose or about whether it's reducing or not, though you might come across those terms in examples, but you do need to be able to recognise that a negative result is blue. So there's been no colour change. Negative result with Benedict solution for glucose is blue. So here we've got a positive and a negative result. Now, these two were the slightly unknown ones. This one was milk with lactose, and you can see it looks a bit weird. And we've got a little tiny bit of yellowish colour around here, showing us that there's a little bit of reducing sugar present. Benedict solution does a sort of traffic light thing where it goes through stages of yellow, green, orange, and red to show how much reducing sugar is present. So yellow, this slight yellow colour here, is showing us that there is a little bit of reducing sugar, and that will be the lactose in the milk. And this one is the squash or fruit cordial that I added. And we can see it's gone this deep orange colour. It's not quite the brick red precipitate that we had with the positive result with the pure glucose solution, but it's definitely got some reducing sugar in there. That could be glucose, it could be fructose. Those are probably the most likely ones. Fructose is a fruit sugar. Both are reducing, so both give a positive result with Benedict solution. So there we are. We added the reagent Benedict solution that was blue to our samples to test for glucose. A positive result gives us a brick red precipitate. A negative result stays blue. Those are the main things to know. We can also see other examples of reducing sugars giving varying levels of positive results with Benedict solution. I hope you found that useful. I'll see you again soon.